What's up, y'all? It's Chandra with Divine Beauty Coaching, coming at y'all with another motivational message. Now, today, I want to talk about the breakdown before the breakthrough. Let me tell you that again. The breakdown before the breakthrough. Okay? A lot of us are waiting on God for something, right? A lot of us are looking for God in certain situations, waiting for Him to whether it's for Him to break through in our finances, breakthrough in our relationships, breakthrough in health issues, to hear a good report as far as a sickness that you've been dealing with, whatever it might be. Understand that God is strategic. And I know I say this so often, so very often. God is very strategic and He is intentional. So He has to break us down before He gives us that breakthrough. Because the thing is, if He just hands you over something, a lot of the times we might get in our ego. We might say we did it on our own. We might say, oh, this was my doing. This is me. And we'll get in our ego to where we forget to give Him the glory. We forget to honor Him. We forget to worship Him for doing His part. Because He's the one who brought you that miracle. He's the one who's brought you that breakthrough. That's why they say that if God is not in the center of everything that you do, it will not sustain. It will not sustain. It might hold up for a moment in time, but eventually it's going to fall down. You have to have a solid foundation. And that solid foundation is that relationship with God. That building that relationship with God, having that bond with God, and having an understanding that He's working in your life. He's the one that's making these things happen in your life. And that goes for all of us. Okay, so it's going to take for Him to break you down, humble you, give you humility for other people and things in that nature. So when you get whatever you're waiting for, you'll appreciate it. You'll be grateful for it. You won't be in that sense of ungratefulness. You got to be grateful for what He gives you before He gives you more. Whatever you have to even say thank you for the tests and trials. Thank you for, the breakdown. Thank you for the breakdown, because this breakdown is necessary and critical to my breakthrough. And the way that you wait, your waiting stage is what's going to determine how God moves. Your waiting stage is how you're going to determine how God moves. Yes, you might get discouraged, but when you get discouraged, what are you doing? One thing I can tell you, anytime that you get discouraged, anytime that you feel like, man, I don't know, it's getting hard, it's getting rough, start finding stuff to just be grateful for. God, I thank You for waking me up this morning. God, thank You for the clothes on my back. God, thank You I got hair on my head. God, thank You for the fact that I got a voice to speak. God, thank You for my hands that I'm mobile. Thank You for my ears to hear, God. Thank You for my eyes to see, God. You got to start thinking, God, even when it seemed like it's not a lot. I'm telling you, it's people out there that don't have those things. It's people out there who don't have hands. It's people out here who don't have feet. Even if you one of those people that don't have a car, you feel like, oh, I gotta walk to the store, Well, you better thank God that you can even walk to the store, because some people can't even walk. You know what I'm saying? Thank God you got a roof over your head. I don't care if you got a roof over your head and ain't nothing. You don't have no furniture in there. At least you got a roof over your head. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you don't got no money in your pocket, but you got a roof over your head. You still able to get food on the table, even if it's through EBT. I don't care what. I'm telling y'all, listen, you have to be grateful in the process of Him breaking you down so He can give you that breakthrough. That's a part of the process. And the only reason He does that is so when He gives it to you, you'll understand that it came from Him, and you'll be humble enough to tell Him that thank you. And you'll never, ever make yourself feel bigger than somebody else because of what you have. That's the whole purpose of the breakdown. You first want to make sure to give Him the glory, to not look down on others and be in your ego or feel like you did it by yourself. Okay, that's the purpose of God breaking you down. But don't be encouraged. Don't be discouraged. Be encouraged. Because a lot of the times before the breakthrough, there is a breakdown. It's going to look like ain't nothing going right. And then boom, he give you that breakthrough because of how you acted in the process of him breaking you down. That's very critical to your breakthrough. That process, that waiting stage, that waiting and how you're waiting. How you're waiting. Are you being ungrateful because he's not moving as quickly as you want him to? Because like I said, sometimes God is holding on to your blessings until he see that you are grateful and maintaining what you already have. You have to be grateful and maintaining what you already have in order for him to give you more. So appreciate the breakdown. Appreciate it. Thank God for it. Because when he gives you that breakthrough and you receive what it is you receive, I promise you, you're going to be grateful. You're going to thank God that he gave you that breakdown. You're going to thank God that he put you through what he pushed you through. You might not be able to feel it in the moment. You might not. But like I said, start thanking him for anything. If you just look around wherever you are, look around the room. If you look around your room, God, I'm thankful for my bed. God, I'm thankful for my TV. God, I'm thankful for my phone that I can even sit here and scroll on social media. God, thank you for being able to give me the ability to have glasses. Give me just for my skin, everything. Thank God. Thank God I can even got the funds to be able to get my nails done, to be able to take care of myself, do my hair. Just start thanking him about anything, y'all. It's because it's really that simple. We got to be grateful in the waiting period. How you wait determines what your breakthrough will be like and how quickly you'll get it. We got to be grateful, y'all. Don't lose hope. I know it gets hard. I know it gets tough. Oh God, I know it. It gets hard. It gets tough. But you got to talk yourself out of that negative state of mind. You got to talk yourself into that positive state, because God ain't put fear in us. That ain't nothing but the enemy trying to work in you. That's it. But you got to fight against it. You gotta know that God placed you here for a reason. So he didn't place you here to do you no harm. He said he came that you may have life and have it to the full, have it more abundantly. So he wants you to be abundant in all areas of your life. Even when it comes to those positive energy, that positive emotions, he wants you to have greatness in all areas, even in your spirit, in your mind, peace in your mind, so that when you're facing certain things, yeah, it might get to you at some point in time, but you won't sit there. You won't stay there to where it turns into a disease. You know what I'm saying? When you sit and soak in certain emotions, that's what causes disease to the body, because emotions, like I've explained before, emotions is energy in motion, meaning you feel it, it releases. You feel it, it comes in, you release it out. You come in, you release it out. That's the way emotions work. Don't ever sit in anything. You sit in sadness, that's going to turn into depression. You sit in anger, that's going to turn into other things that you don't want. You don't want to make that a part of your life, and then you sit in anger and then it turns into you doing stuff that you ain't got no business doing. Seriously, y'all. I know it's not easy. It's not easy. One day at a time, one step at a time. But I promise you, when you anchor to God and you trust in him and you have hope in him and faith in him, yeah, it might not happen tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to happen next week. It might not happen next year. It might not. But you can have hope that it will. And your hope alone can get you that breakthrough. The actions that you take in your waiting period can get you to that breakthrough. Trust in the Lord. Lean not on your own understanding. Because sometimes you're just not going to understand why things are happening the way that they are. And that's just what it is. But what you can do is trust God. Trust God. Trust that his ways are not your ways. His way of thinking is not your way of thinking. But he knows what's best for you. Okay? Appreciate the breakdown, because the breakdown has to come. There is no breakthrough without a breakdown. Let me say that again. There is no breakthrough without a breakdown. He got to break you down because it's critical to your breakthrough. It helps you to continue to receive breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough, but when he breaks you down. Just appreciate the process, y'all. Keep hope alive. Stay anchored to God. Trust God. Trust him. And I promise you, he will never fail you. He will never fail you. And I'm a living testimony of that, y'all. I'm telling y'all, there is no testimony without a test. You got to go through the test before you can even have a testimony. Okay? I know it's getting tough out here, y'all. I know it is. But I'm telling you, be encouraged. God is around you. Even when it feels like he's not, he's there. I'm talking about at your lowest moments. That's when he's right there with you. Because he feels everything that you're feeling. I'm telling you. But be encouraged, y'all. There has to be a breakdown before you get your breakthrough. All right? I love y'all so much. I hope y'all have gotten something good out of this message. I hope it touched you in a way that and gave you the motivation that you needed to keep on pushing, keep on striving, keep on going. All right. Y'all know to find me, www.divinebeautycoaching.com. Also, y'all know y'all can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All of my links will be in the description for y'all to go check me out on my social media platforms. And if you need just a prayer call, you just need some prayer, you just want, somebody to just, fellowship with you, I am available. I am here. Don't hesitate to reach out. Like I said, divinebeautycoaching.com. Y'all hit me up. I love y'all so much. Take care. Peace.